So one question which some people are asking me, and indeed I think lots of people are asking themselves these days, is the question about whether technology is going to take over their job, or whether technology is going to take over my job. And I was been thinking about this myself, but I came across something in a book which helped me make sense of this. But I think it's also got lessons for us all for the future as well. And I got this idea from a book called WTF, question mark, by Robert Peston, which Robert Peston being a UK journalist and very much known for his views at the moment on Brexit and Trump and things, and that's a lot of what the book is about. But there's a little nugget in the book where he talks about some research from, I think it was St Louis University, about the nature of the jobs that technology is replacing. And this gives us a way of viewing the impact of technology as it will probably have on our jobs, and indeed as it already had on our jobs. And the thing about this is it's not just about the technology, it's about the nature of the work. When you look at the nature of the work, you can split it up in fairly simple ways into tasks which are routine and non-routine, and those which are also manual and those which are cognitive. In other words, you've got to think about them. It's brain work, if you like. And with routine tasks that have to be repeated very often, and particularly for manual things, this is where we've already seen a big impact in technology. Because things like manufacturing, if it's just putting a nut on a bolt or something like that, you've got robots and things that can do with this. And you know that this is already having an impact with you. If you've got a car which has got cruise control, that's just an example of kind of a manual task from cruise control where you're on the motorway. It doesn't need too much input, where technology can assist. It doesn't necessarily completely replace, but it assists. For manual, non-routine tasks, though, technology still struggles quite a bit. Manual, non-routine tasks would be a lot of the caring that's involved. For example, in nursing and caring for people less fortunate than me and so forth. It involves a lot of manual work, but it's not routine. It's not something that can always be repeated. Technology struggles in this area a bit more. It can still make a contribution, but it struggles. When you're looking at cognitive work, as well, it's the routine stuff that's likely to be replaced. Bookkeeping, a lot of routine data input, stuff like this. You can get an algorithm or a piece of technology or something to do this for you. But the non-routine cognitive stuff, like being creative, managing and leading people, designing new processes, solving problems, stuff like that. Technology can sometimes help, but it can't completely replace. What this means is the impacts of technology are generally in these areas. And if you think about what's happened so far, it started moving from the left, it's progressively moving over to the right. There are impacts in the non-routine stuff as well, but most of it is around here. So what that means is that if you're doing a job which has got a lot of routine stuff to it, where you're repeating the same thing every time, then the outlook is, probably technology will replace what you're doing, or part of what you're doing, possibly quite quickly. But if your job is non-routine, if it's not the standard sort of stuff, if you have to solve different situations every day, then actually, for I think the foreseeable future, we're still going to need you and your colleagues, your people, to be able to do this. So what that means is, the outlook for this is, if you're looking to keep a job, then the more non-routine it is, probably the more future it's got in it. And what that's going to mean is that you've got to keep on top of your game. You're going to have to keep learning new things. You're going to have to keep thinking about new things, about creative problem solving and doing things differently. If you want a future that isn't replaced by a robot, you've got to be capable of doing the non-routine bits. That's probably where the future lies, and the lesson out of this has therefore got to be, do what you can do to improve yourself, develop yourself, learn something new. That might mean you need some training.